From gates guarded by winged bulls to kings who carved their victories in stone, the Assyrians built an empire that once stretched from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. They mapped the stars, cataloged their libraries on clay, and raised cities that glowed like fire at dusk, though their palaces fell to dust.
The king of Babylon came with iron and fire. Ladders rose, rams thundered, and the walls shuddered. Nebuchadnezzar did not pause. Through the gate he drove his army, and Jerusalem became a furnace. Stones fell, treasures burned, and the temple of the Most...
Between desert and mountain, the Persians built an empire of marvels. Stone turned to story in the hands of their craftsmen. Horsemen rode like wind across the...
In the 8th century BCE, a new power rose across Mesopotamia. From the heart of Nineveh, massive ziggurats pierced the sky. Scribes filled clay tablets with imperial orders, and stone walls told stories of relentless...
Today, the earth will remember our footsteps. Spears closed, shields tight, strike like the lightning, and the sun shall rise on a stronger nation.
They called him 2/3 divine, 1/3 man. Across cities of brick and deserts of wind, Gilgamesh sought what no king could hold, immortality. Through storm and forest, through cavern and mountain, he faced the unknown with a lion's heart and a wanderer.
He was 2 parts god, 1 part man, king of Uruk, conqueror of beasts. But even Gilgamesh could not outrun the fate of mortals. With his brother-in-arms Enkidu, he defied the forest demon Humbaba, and when loss struck, he...
In the age when kings were carved from stone and rivers carried the memory of gods, there was one who walked larger than legend. Friend, warrior, builder of walls and breaker of them, Gilgamesh. He sought to conquer death itself, and in the silence of...
Carved in cliffs, raised in stone, poured in gold, the empire of the kings of kings stretched farther than the eye, and further than the imagination. Roads bound its cities.
On the banks of the Euphrates, a city of clay and dreams rose to meet the dawn. A people who pressed words into wet earth and etched lions into bronze. They mapped the stars, weighed justice on stone, and traded dyes that caught the sun. Gardens hung above the river and drums pulled hearts into the firelight.
At the bend of the river, smoke and thunder ruled the morning. Soldiers, many of them men who'd only just claimed their freedom, stood shoulder to shoulder. Against a furious charge, they held the line, rifles clashing, flag whipping over the...
In the heart of the Sahara, where sand merges with sky, lies a city built from earth and story. Down its shaded alleys, the air smells of leather, spice, and sun-warmed stone. Markets hum with voices and colors. Pages of ancient knowledge whisper in careful...
In 1866, in the war's lingering smoke, African-American regiments were formed. They were sent west, into canyons, deserts, and uncertainty, to guard the frontier. Plains tribes said their courage matched the mighty buffalo, and the name stuck. Through battles, rescues, and trails long forgotten.
You called me out from my father's house. I have left the land of my kin. I walk where you lead. Show me the place you promised.
I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you, and through you all families of the earth.
Hold the line. We're moving on my mark. Load up.
Ready? Go! Go! On a free coast! On your 6!
They can't stop what's already started.
Beyond that shore lies an empire of gold, and we will take it.
New worlds, old gods.
Choose what you carry home.
All his life, Elijah McCoy watched machines stop, stall, and overheat. So he built something that wouldn't. A simple brass cup that fed oil while a train kept moving, saving time, money, and...
From humble beginnings in Detroit, Ralph Bunche rose to the world stage. A brilliant negotiator, he built bridges where there were only walls. In 1950, his work mediating the Arab-Israeli conflict...
They told us we weren't ready. They told us to wait our turn. But we are the ones who feel the weight of that waiting. We are the movement. We are the proof. And as long as I got breath in my body, I will stand up.
The W.E.B. Du Bois saw the future of a people long denied one. Scholar, author, co-founder of the NAACP. He devoted his life to the fight for equality and taught the world the power of ideas.
Our feet wore down the pavement of history, but we never stopped marching. We stood for what was right, and we rose again and again. So when you see something that's not fair, not just...
When it comes to abortion in the United States, the numbers look very different depending on race. In 2021, Black women had a rate of 24 abortions per 1,000, almost 4 times higher than white women.
They tell us to wait, to be patient, but justice don't run on that timetable. We've waited long enough. Power is never given, it's taken, and we intend to take what's ours.
In 1921, Greenwood, known as Black Wall Street, thrived. But on May 31st, mobs and even airplanes rained destruction. 35 city blocks burned. More than 300 lives were lost. Thousands...
Of the first 12 U.S. presidents, 8 held people in slavery. Washington, Jefferson, over 600 enslaved. Jackson, Taylor, and several others profited from forced labor. Abraham Lincoln marked a break.
March
U.S. forces crossed the border. What started as a crackdown spirals into full-scale invasion. An entire nation.
They set out with a cross on their chests and a promise in their hearts, crossing seas, deserts, and the walls of cities built to keep them out. Catapults thundered, swords clashed, and prayers rose like smoke. Through the chaos,
once enslaved, he rose to lead the world's first successful slave revolution. Through fire and steel, he carved a new nation. On January 1st, 1804, he signed his freedom into
Lake Lanier looks peaceful, but beneath these waters lies a whole town. Once, it was called Oscarville, home to shops, churches, farms. In the 1950s, the U.S. government bought the land.
April 1968. On the west side of Chicago, a neighborhood burned. Some run, some stand their ground, and between the smoke and the sirens, the city fights to see the morning. History.
Harlem, 1920s. Amid the snow and the streetlights, one woman built an empire from a game of numbers. They called her Madame St. Clair, the Queen of Harlem. She called her own.
In the highlands where the morning sun kisses the earth, a Lion of Judah once walked among his people. Crowned in courage, cloaked in faith, he carried the hopes of a nation. This is highly
Long before sails cut across the Atlantic, these continents were alive with stories. Bison herds rolled like thunder over the plains. Great cities of stone rose from lakes and mountains. Cacao, copper, and
It's no god. It's a lie.
They called him Tammuz, shepherd of the seasons, bringer of grain. But stone cannot breathe, nor can idols save. The day came when the sand remembered his weight, and the false
shaped to God from their own gold. Smooth horns, hollow eyes, a promise of power that could never speak. Yet they bowed, and the smoke.
Almighty One, take what is yours. It's a machine. A false god.
Chemosh. The name burns as bright as the coals in his hands. But tonight the mountain trembles, and even a false god.
Old Baal, the false god of storm and idol, born of fire and conquest. Ash flows through his veins and thunder bends to his will.
You see this? They want folks scared enough to stop coming.
Then we don't stop. We rebuild.
Damn right we do.
Grash. He was crowned at 20, undefeated in battle, and by 30 ruled from Greece to the edges of India. Alexander the Great, conqueror, visionary, and legend.
Land. They called him Seleucus the Steadfast. When the sun rose over the dust of the plain, his line never wavered. With a single word, he could turn fear into fire. Today,
they called him Ptolemy, general, scholar, and builder of dreams. From the dust of conquest, he carved a kingdom. From a harbor of sand, he raised a beacon that would burn for centuries.
They say a king rules by the weight of his crown. I have learned a crown is lighter than a promise unkept. Today, I keep...
The sea is calm, but the world is not. Alexander carved an empire. We must hold the fragments. Today we march east, and history will
Antiochus Arf Epiphanes, the self-proclaimed manifest god. From the wealth of his mints to the reach of his empire, he strode the world like a conqueror. He desecrated temples, imposed Greek gods, and...
Dicen que el desierto forja al hombre. Yo digo que la justicia lo hace cabalgar. Mi nombre es Francisco Villa, y mientras este sol alumbre la sierra, ningún tirano dormirá tranquilo.
En el fragor de la pólvora se decide el destino de los hombres. Aquí no hay vuelta atrás. Cada disparo es un juramento por la tierra que nos...
December 1913. On the U.S.-Mexico border, the dusty town of Agua Prieta became the front line of a revolution. Hundreds of horseback rebels charged the garrison, hoping to seize the railhead and its stockpile of arms. But the defenders had trenches, sandbags, and a deadly new Maxim gun.
In May of 1911, revolutionaries pressed into Ciudad Juarez. Federal machine guns rattled from the rooftops. Villa, Orozco, and their men answered from the alleys and the rail yards. For 3 days, the city...
On March 11, 1913, the revolution reached the twin border towns of Nogales. Rebel horsemen stormed north, striking the federal garrison that guarded the line.
March 1913, the city of Torreon, gateway to the north, becomes a battlefield. Rebel columns surged through the streets, pushing the federal garrison back from their barricades.
Inside Kigali's Hotel des Mille Collines, fear pressed in with every breath. The manager bartered for bribes and water, turning a luxury hotel.
Tonight we take Ojinaga.
Adelante! Move!
The
border is ours now, and there's no turning back.
Zacatecas is our. Today we finish it.
Cuando la estrategia cambió la revolución.
November 1915. In the Sonoran dust, forces loyal to Obregón fortify Agua Prieta. Across the wire, Pancho Villa's division of the North storms forward. Horses, rifles, and machetes against...
In the mountains of southern Mexico, December 1811, rebel fighters met the Royalist army in a storm of smoke and lead. Outnumbered, they fought for freedom, for land, for tomorrow. History would call it...
Born enslaved, he rode the flames of revolution to command an island. In 1801, Toussaint Louverture put freedom into words, drafting a constitution that declared...
At Vertières, the last French stronghold in Saint-Domingue, Haitian soldiers surged through smoke and cannon fire. By dusk, the tricolor was lowered. The Empire's army knelt.
After crushing the French army, General Jean-Jacques Dessalines proclaimed the birth of a new nation. On January 1st, 1804, the former colony of Saint-Domingue became Haiti, the first...
In 1802, the first consul of France cast his gaze across the Atlantic. Napoleon's fleet set sail, laden with soldiers, supplies, and ambition, bound for the Caribbean colony of Saint-Domingue. The mission...
Nicanor, Seleucid general, veteran of countless campaigns. From Antioch to the hills of Judea, he carried the king's will, steel in his hand, strategy in his mind. But at Adas...
In the dead of night she moved, lantern low, heart high. Harriet Tubman led dozens out of bondage, guiding them through the shadows toward freedom. Fear never stopped her. Hope kept her.
In 1802, the first consul of France cast his gaze across the Atlantic. Napoleon's fleet set sail, laden with soldiers, supplies, and ambition, bound for the Caribbean colony of Saint-Domingue. The mission...
Born enslaved, he rode the flames of revolution to command an island. In 1801, Toussaint Louverture put freedom into words, drafting a constitution that declared...
They said a tower should climb the sky itself. Stone upon stone, language upon language, we lifted the dream higher. Every rung, every arch, every rope strained toward the clouds as if we could stitch heaven to the earth. But at the summit, in the hush above the world...
He walked up these steps with a briefcase full of hope and a mind sharpened by courage. In courtrooms across the nation, he argued for a future that treated every child as equal. And in 1967, Thurgood Marshall made history.